All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? The Dyson sphere? Just started to hear about that a little bit just a couple days ago. Probably a lot of you know about it. I have not. Let's get into it. This is a short video. Let's see what a Dyson sphere is.
What if we could engineer a gigantic megastructure capable of harvesting every bit of the sun's energy? Something known as a Dyson sphere. How long would it take to construct this mega shell? Where would we find all the materials needed? And what could we do with the structure once we finally built it? This is What If, and here's what would happen if we could build a Dyson sphere around the sun.
Seems like kind of a big engineering project.
The idea of a Dyson sphere was, well, stolen from aliens. In 1960, astrophysicist Freeman Dyson theorized another civilization that found a way to meet their ever-increasing energy and space demands. They rearranged their solar system. This hypothetical advanced civilization built a hollow sphere around their own sun and provided themselves with an incredible amount of energy and habitable real estate. But what about us? How would we go about building this space-level structure? Theoretically, if we built a Dyson sphere, we'd have access to a colossal 400 septillion watts of solar energy. That's 1 trillion times more power than our entire civilization consumes today. The problem is, no known material is strong enough to handle all the space radiation. And even if we created one in very large quantities, a tiny gravitational pull towards the sun would make our solid sphere uninhabitable. Not to
Elon Musk could work on this. I'd give him something to do.
mention that it would be totally unstable. Every meteor strike would push a part of the sphere towards the star. But all these issues can be solved with a simple adjustment. Instead of building a solid Dyson sphere, we could build a Dyson swarm, a myriad of solar collectors with their individual orbits around the sun. Let's start with a small station, one
That's a
that's
cool
able
idea.
to provide the energy needed for this whole construction project. We'd begin on Mercury. It would become our space mine for the iron and oxygen we'd need. From those elements, we'd make highly reflective solar collectors. The
Wow.
giant mirrors would reflect light into a small solar power plant. From there, it would beam the energy to where we need it. We'd probably demolish Mercury entirely before we moved on to Venus, Mars, and the outer planets. Even nearby asteroids would be decimated. However, even just deconstructing Mercury would supply us with enough energy to power up our supercomputers and boost interstellar exploration. Maybe we'd even build Earth-like oases, large rotating space colonies in the habitable zone of our solar system. Maybe if we're lucky, we'd find other, more efficient sources of energy to help us master space travel, like artificially generated black holes. But that's a story for another What If.
That is a big what if. A lot of what ifs. The engineering, the time, the resources, the ability. I mean, we haven't even gotten a human to Mars. We seem like we're a long ways off from being able to do anything like this. But I do like big ideas. I like the idea of people not being afraid to say some wild stuff like this. So I like it. I mean, the idea of harnessing all that energy and having a swarm instead of a solid, shell around the sun makes more sense. You could deploy them and retract them and, sort of remote control them in a lot of ways to benefit. I didn't understand the idea of sending energy remotely. I'm not sure how that would work. Well, there's a lot I didn't understand, and what kind of materials would you have to use to build things that close to the sun? I don't know. There's a lot of challenges with that, but I thought it's kind of a fun thing to watch a little video about and think about, and just play around. It's important for the human mind to think big. Some of the time we can get lost in our day to day or week to week, but we gotta always have an eye on the bigger. Some of the time, good for us. It keeps us humble, and it also is part of, I think, what makes us feel sort of more useful and during our lifetimes, is to be thinking about the bigger issues of our humanity. It's good for us in that way. So anyway, I don't know, what do you guys think? That's crazy, right? That doesn't seem doable. I mean, maybe in hundreds or thousands of years, yeah. But I mean, we can't even, we've got wars going on and stuff, which is such a primitive idea that we're still having, like, people are killing one another. It doesn't seem like we're anywhere close to being able to just sort of unify and do a major, well, major is an understatement, the biggest human project ever. But I don't know. I'm not going to say we can't. Just think we're not ready for anything like that. All right. Kind of interesting. You know what you think. Thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, I need to research that a little bit more. See what that's all about.